Alright. First time streaming anything, so let's see how this goes. Make sure my audio is going through. And it is. Well. Hold on a moment. What have we got here? No, I could swear I hit new gameplay. What is this? Wanted to start a new one. I guess that's a good chance to demonstrate what we're actually looking at here. This is sort of the main map, where you spend a lot of the time of the game, really. This is called, well, this is, first of all, this is Mount & Blade Warband. It's pretty old at this point, actually. If you haven't heard of it, there's a good reason. It's just because it's been, it's old, and it was from an indie developer. Although it has sort of become one of my most favorite games. The description, just, I mean, you know, for those who didn't bother or want to read the description, this is sort of a choose-your-own-adventure hybrid. It's sort of like a real-time strategy as well, though, slash kingdom builder. It's you kind of want to do whatever you like. In my case, I'm always out to build my own empire, which I think is what most people end up doing. I've accidentally loaded my other save that I had been playing on my own before I started doing any of this. And basically what we've got here, all the red is my current territory in this save. I'm going to be starting over, though. I'm going to say keep this one around, I guess. But you start from with literally nothing, as little as you can. I mean, in this case, I started as an impoverished noble, so I wasn't completely nothing. I had no money. I had junk equipment, of course, but I was able to gain influence a lot more quickly. But anyway, let's see if we can't get back to the main menu here. No reason to save. But as I said, that's the main. That's sort of the main map. But you don't just give orders and things happen. When you get into a battle, you go into the field and fight alongside your soldiers. You can issue them orders in the field, or let them fight on their own. They tend to do well enough on their own there without orders, though. At least in this game. But this is vanilla because it's on console. I can't do any, there's no mod support for it on console, so. But frankly, I find if you have just a little bit of imagination, the vanilla game for this was quite exciting. I'm going to go male. Now, I normally do start as an impoverished noble because I usually end up taking up a certain character in this game. And I think in step with that, I'm going to continue doing that for now. Now, this is sort of a rough build, how your character starts right here. You choose your backstory, and that sort of affects your base stats. It's not very clear on what helps with what. I mean, you can sort of tell. I'm going to go with a nobleman at court. Considering I was my character's an impoverished noble, makes sense. And because I want to be decent at fighting, right out the gate, I'm going to go with Squire. I think that'll probably help. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not really bothering to read all this because I've seen it a dozen times. Not the best intro, I get it, but this isn't exactly a full walkthrough. Might end up being a playthrough, but we'll see. Depends if we get it. Well, hell, if I ever get any traction, we'll see what happens. For now, slipping on the ice, flailing my arms about hilariously is my goal. But we'll see. Well, let's see. What motivates me on this particular adventure? Personal revenge. Now, I've got some stories on that from previous gameplay, but I can't show you that. Maybe get into it later. Forced out of my home. I'm not really motivated much by money or power, although I do aim to gain power, I suppose, but I'm gonna go with loss of a loved one. That one is kind of what gets me going in here. We'll see here. Works for a good. Right. Now, I only have one banner I like to use. Phoenix over with black and white Phoenix there. Okay, so now here's where you really make your where you make your stat sheet and all that, and and they all affect various different things. Oh, what should we have a name as? I think we'll just, for now, you can change this whenever you want, so I'm just gonna plop this in there. But Iron Flesh is very important. But you see, I can't put any more points into it even though I have more skill points. So that's because I need to have more strength before I can increase my Iron Flesh any further, which I'm gonna put another one in there because I want more than 2 of that. A little tougher right out the gate. Now, Intelligence, I think, is one of the most important ones to put points into because every one of those you get another skill point. I'm just gonna put the rest of those in there. Let's see here. Power Draw is nice, but I need Shield and Athleticism. Athletics, I mean. Lets you move a little faster. It keeps your shield from breaking, which is very important at the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself 2 of those. Athletics is going to be just as important, I imagine. Oh no, I'm going to need some training skill. I've already got the 3 leadership I need. First aid is pretty important because, well, you know, I think I'll go down the list here and explain it as best I can. So, Iron Flesh is pretty straightforward. Decides how much health you have. It's basically toughness, like in the Division. Power Strike controls how much damage. It affects how much damage you do with melee weapons, i.e., swords, etc. Swords, spears, maces, etc. Thrown weapons. I think that one's pretty explanatory. And Power Draw, you know, javelins, throwing knives. Throwing axes, yeah. Power Draw affects your ability with bows. Now, there's not a specific one here for crossbows, but that's because that's pretty much directly affected by your strength. Because the crossbow itself doesn't... I mean, you know, in real life, you don't have much input when it comes to how much damage a crossbow is going to inflict. It's all about your aim at that point. Weapon Master decides how high your proficiencies can go just by entering points. Which I'm gonna I'm for now just gonna dump all mine into one-handed and archery, because I tend to use a sword and a shield, and I'll have a bow for backup. That way I can, at least in a siege, I'll fire arrows up at the up into the battlements while my troops go up the ramp. Because if you go down in a siege, you have to launch another assault. So it's best to stay up and let your men get their job done. Now, I already explained what the shield does. Keeps your shield alive longer. Athletics lets you move faster. Riding dictates not only how fast your horse can go, like it helps your horse move a little quicker, but it also controls what quality of horse you can ride. And 3 is a decent score. I'd rather have 4 because then I can get an armored horse. But horse archery, plenty self-explanatory. Accuracy while you know, using any ranged weapon or ability from horseback. Oh, looting's good because, and I'm gonna definitely take one of those actually. That way I can make a little bit of money at the beginning just by fighting. I think that about does it for my sheet here. Let's move on. Now I'm gonna say this right now. You can see what I'm talking about. Graphics are dated, that's for sure, but the gameplay's solid. I usually don't, and because of that, I don't usually spend much time on character creation. I get a little, deal with my hair a bit. Let's get something simple. And this is actually affected a bit by, because I find that the skin one kind of just changes like your character's like sort of cultural background rather than actual rather than just the skin color. It's weird because it changes like what color of hair you have and that you can have, and sort of strange. I think this is the one I usually end up on. I usually go for darker hair. Let's go for but that's just because I have dark brown hair in real life. Yeah, age doesn't really come into play much because in this game your character won't actually ever, like, even if you get defeated in battle, you never die. You just go unconscious. I like that myself because you can end up investing a lot of time in this game. So if you don't really want your character to just, oop, I'm dead because I took a stray arrow to the face. Yeah, that's more or less what I usually end up with. I usually end up wearing a helmet most of the time anyway, so I don't really care about it. Probably will in Mountain Blade Bannerlord too, but that's a ways off yet. And I like to start in Swadia right here. These are the different. Basically, this just lets you pick your starting point, in the different kingdoms that take up the land of Calradia, which is the area in the map I was showing you a bit ago. But I like to start in Swadia because they're sort of like, yeah, they look a little bit more like what you might think of when you think of a European like medieval knight, and that means I get faster access to the weapons and armor that I like. All right, just got to refamiliarize myself with the controls. R1 to draw your weapon, L1 to draw shield. R1, that is R1 to cycle weapons, because I've got this crossbow and a sword. Which actually, the different backgrounds you choose at the beginning, I found... At least I seem to recall that they all actually alter this. L2 to block. But it's sort of directional-based combat. They kind of throw you right into it, too, unless you decide to play the tutorial. There we go. Stabbed him right in his face. Now, if I'm not mistaken, yep, there's a fellow there. He's a merchant. Let's see what's he got to say. And I don't know about you, but I always feel just a little weird when someone starts reading off the other people to say. I mean, I like it kind of when other people do it, but for now, I'll just sum up. Basically, he's a merchant. He's checking to see if I'm okay, and he wants my help. He's got a job for me because he's an influential merchant in town, and he's afraid, and his brother's been kidnapped by bandits, and he wants me to go rescue them. Now, you don't have to do this. This is just a little tutorial quest. It's the closest thing you get to a tutorial when you just jump right in. But I'm interested because he gives me money right away. 100 dinars. Which I can use to go hire men or buy equipment. I'm actually going to go ahead and sell this crossbow, though, because I'm not a big fan of it. Well, I might. We'll see how much I can get out of it. Oh, yeah, you're going to spend... If you do decide to play this game at some time, you'll probably get it cheap these days, but... At this point, you're going to end up in towns a lot, buying supplies for yourself and your troops. And this is the main menu. You go to the castle to speak to lords. I don't want to go there yet because I'm not famous enough. I'm just going to the market. See what we got. Oopsie daisy. Okay, I'm not selling the crossbow. Not worth anything. I think my first priority is going to be to go get some recruits. Fish will last a little while. Food doesn't go too quickly until you have a lot of soldiers. Not really much to do here right now. Just starting a brand new campaign here. Oh my, gonna want to avoid them. Just started out. I cannot handle 10 bandits myself. Might be able to handle 3. Okay, this is hilly. And I do have a horse, so I can definitely take him. Just have to play it right. The question is, where are they? If you hit the left arrow, you can get yourself a map. Which is also where you can give orders to your troops. I just don't have any yet, because I'm fresh out the gate. This game can be pretty brutal starting out, so there's no guarantees here. I might get captured by these bandits and held prisoner. It's a hilly terrain, so they're probably having a hard time getting over it, just like I am. Oh, you know, that actually does put me at a disadvantage on horseback. See what and you can actually do first person. I just prefer not to. Now. There we go, takes care of him. Oh, and if you think the sword swings are slow, that's just because I have low proficiency. At the moment, it does get better. Which I worried about myself at first. Also, cool thing about the shields is if like he's throwing rocks at me, if it hits my shield even when I'm not blocking, it'll still protect me. even if it's on your back. Alright. But typically with these battles, you fight in the end. You can just sit here if you want, but that's kind of boring. Let's leave. Nor if I had soldiers, they'd be cheering and stuff. But... And I don't... Oh, yes, there is a take all button. I'd forgotten. Alright. Technically, this does more damage than my sword. It's got 30 cutting damage. Is what little C means. But my sword's got better reach, so I'm going to stick with it. And the good thing is you don't actually have to directly buy equipment for your soldiers. Alright, so we're at the village of Asgad. Probably going to butcher some of these pronunciations, even though I've played this a lot. But I'm just going to go ahead and see if there are any recruits. Oh, unfortunate. Sometimes they don't have any, and you have to do favors for them before you can get anyone. I think I needed 5, though, for the quest. I'm going to head over to another village and see if that's true. After I check the notes. Yep, I need 5 men. Could always check the tavern for mercenaries. And then I wouldn't have to train them as much. But mercenaries are expensive, so... And I have no income right now. That... You can also... And as I mentioned earlier, this is... although no one was here. This is sort of real-time strategy. But everything only moves when you're moving. So you can stop and study the map. Which is actually fairly large. It's nowhere... This isn't even like a fifth the size of what they're planning in the next game, though. But, I'm... oh, man. Getting off track. Let's get those soldiers. But, sometimes I find... Well, you know, when I get later on in the game, sometimes I'll find myself just sitting there studying the map. Alright, got a few more people than I needed, but that's probably for the best. I have to head back and talk to the merchant now that I've got soldiers. If you can call them that. They're basically peasants with clubs at the moment. But they can become far more than that. Visit the tavern to talk... Oh, there was someone here. Whew, too steep for me. 800 dinars, I only have 200. Alright. I've never asked him to come with us before. Yeah, that makes sense. He's asking, you know, he won't come with me because he's asking me to take care of it. Yeah, that makes sense. He did pay me. Alright, time to go hunt down some bandits. Oh. And you don't have to go out the door and anything, just old habit. Just hit circle, it brings you back to this anywhere you are in the town. In a town, you can just pop right back to that menu and leave. And fortunately for this little tutorial quest, the bandits you need to catch so you can learn where his brother's being held spawn right outside the city, and it's just 4 of them. So me and my 6 soldiers are going to take them down. That troop count includes you. But as you can see, we're not exactly an elite group here. Now let's see, where are they? And also the different terrain, the map actually does matter, because where you are on that map when you get attacked by bandits or you decide to attack will influence the terrain that it spawns you in on. Since we're in a sort of hilly area, we get sort of hilly terrain. I'm just gonna mess with them a little bit, that way their backs are to my guys when they come over the hill. That is, if I don't kill them all first. And you can take prisoners if you use a blunt weapon like a mace or a club. Or you can, if you are careful, punch them to death. Well, punch them unconscious anyway. But this is called Mountain Blade for a good reason. It's best to be on a horse. You know, I'm gonna let my soldiers deal with this one. I already hogged the other 3. Yeah, their cheers are really convincing. It's like stock footage screams. But I love it. And lo and behold, one of the guys I thought was dead, oh, he's still alive. Okay, let's see here. You know, he's agreed to tell me where his gang hides out, and in exchange I'll spare him. It's sort of scripted there, though. And if I had any prisoner like I don't have prisoner management yet. I can get some when I level up, but so I can't hold any prisoners yet. Cool thing is, if you don't want to invest points in a specific talent, you can get companions and have them have those points in certain skills. That way, you can maximize different people and have them do different things. Well, I guess this wool cap will have to do. I don't have anything else protecting my head. Don't really want to give up the leg armor, because that's 1 point better for the body. I think I'll keep... And armor is very simple in this game. You know, it has 3 different stats. It has armor for my head, body, and legs. And it does matter where they hit you. So if someone hits me in the head, that's bad. Especially, well, you know that much. It's bad if you get hit in the head, clearly. But mostly because I have very little armor. So if their weapon happens to do more than 6 damage, it's gonna... I mean, it'll only mitigate that much. Now, if I had, like, 60, which is about the most you can get for your head, you can still get hurt, but it's rather uncommon. Take care of everything, because I'm going to want to sell it. Another good thing to do, which I haven't done yet, is find a companion early on, because they can't die either. They can help you train your troops. They can help you move faster. Let's see. Oh, sometimes these guys are halfway across creation. Like, I've had them spawn all the way out here before, and you can get attacked by bandits along the way and deplete your troops. I could actually wait overnight and train my men. I think we'll just take them in. It's just some bandits. And I have more troops than they... You know, I got 6 soldiers instead of 5, so... But the different bandit hideouts, unfortunately, are just like that. There are different types of bandits in each different kingdom. Swadia is a great place to start out because they have the weakest bandits. They have just some force bandits can be a problem because they have bows, but they don't have horses, so they're a lot easier to deal with. And if you started out in the kingdom of Rhodox, they have mountain bandits, which sometimes have horses. And if your soldiers don't have horses, they're going to be in trouble unless you're careful. You got to have a tougher strategy. I tend to go for heavy cavalry down the road. Yeah. And you can shoot your own soldiers. You got to be careful there. But you might have noticed there my proficiency with crossbows went up. So your proficiencies increase as you use skills. Like as you use a weapon, you can also level them up as you level up. So practice is a good way to get better. Best way, really. That's the other reason I kind of try to hog the kills early on, so that... oh, look, his brother flanked me. Thought he was another bandit for some reason. Yeah, I look a little manky. The loot's kind of rubbish, but it's ours. That said, get rid of these hats. They're worthless. Same with these throwing stones. Just gonna take the most valuable stuff, which is all generally toward the top of the list. Oh, actually, that's worth more than this. Alright, that'll do it. Alright. Gonna go ahead and sell off that stuff before I forget. I've done that a few times. Gone out to kill a bunch of bandits and find out I can't loot any of their stuff. And normally, I'm not bothering right now because this stuff's pretty much worthless. It's usually a good idea to sell the armor to the armor merchant and the weapons to the weaponsmith. But you don't have to. Probably shouldn't worry about a better sword right now. See if I can't afford any bit of armor. Probably a helmet would be a good idea. Yes, it's kind of basic, but it's a lot better than a wool cap. Alright. And I can't spend too much because I do have to pay those soldiers I have with me. And it's a tricky balance at first because those bandits can have parties sometimes up to 30 some men I've seen, and when wars get going, which shouldn't be long before, and you don't have to get involved in the wars, and the different lords won't attack you if you're unless you're aligned with their enemy kingdom. But and there is mercenary work to be had there. But for now, I kind of want to avoid combat until my soldiers are trained up a bit. Unless I find just weak, smaller numbers of bandits. Anyway, time to go talk to the merchant again. Alright, well, his brother's home safe. Done my job. Apparently doesn't know what to do with him. Oh, okay, you seriously have me rescue him just so you can shove him off, okay. Well, better than leaving him imprisoned by bandits. I'm looking better off for it. He wants more help here. Basically what's going on is that the bandits, they are doing, it's worse than just a few bandits capturing his brother. It seems the captain of the guard is in on it. He's apparently become corrupt and is allowing the bandits into the town to steal things and harass people under the king's nose. And he wants me to lead the group of people he's gathered in eradicating those bandits. You don't have to, but I'm going in because I can save a few lives and get a little experience. And you can just go in punching people if you want. Not necessarily wise, though. And there are a few soldiers here. Not very good ones, but footman beats my lot. I'm gonna go this way because there's a single peasant woman marching over here. She's probably going to die. Yeah, she was just killed by a bandit there. Okay. And he has no armor, so it's very easy to hurt him, especially with a sword. Well, none on his body, anyway. And you can't... There is actually a sort of parrying system in here, but I find it difficult to... Even after a lot of time playing, it's difficult to actually use it proactively. Ow. And right now, I have it set to just... When I block, it blocks in the direction of an incoming attack. You can switch that off, so that you have to manually choose the direction, which can be pretty exciting if you do it well. He's just throwing stones at me. That's never a good choice, really. Well, a few peasant women died, but the bandits are gone. Alright. I just kind of cut that right off there, didn't I? Alright. I killed 3 of them myself, he said. And here's, you get to sort of set yourself a little bit of a tone here. You know, I want to be, you know, I want people to fear me and, you know, become famous and infamous, be humble, or just glad to be alive. And at this point, I suppose that's where I'm at. I'm not exactly wealthy and powerful as yet. Let's get circle and head to the marketplace now that I've been paid again, see what else I might be able to pick up of importance. Because for now, I mean, I'm going to still be able to find better armor off some forest bandits in the woods. And also, something important to notice is that armors and weapons do come in different qualities. I mean, I have a rusty sword right now. Doesn't really look that rusty when you look at it, but it just means it's less effective. It's a very poor, cheap sword. Same thing can be said for this, for example, which is still pretty decent armor, but, I mean, it's pretty poor quality for what it is, but beats the hell out of what I'm wearing. I mean, this body armor gives better leg protection. It gives almost the same leg protection as my boots plus my body armor. We're good on food, horses, and everything. Time to go find something else to do. And I think that's going to be kill some more bandits. maybe do something risky. You find something where we're outnumbered. Actually, oh. And here's something else that I was mentioning. You do have to pay your soldiers, and I only have a few, and they're very poor quality, so I don't have to pay them much. Looks like 1 dinar per person. Which is also why I can't afford to spend much, because I have no income as yet. That will show up here every week, your expenses versus your income, to give your net wealth. Well, I'm in decline, so one of the things I like to start to do at first is save up some money and start buying businesses in the cities. And that can be a problem down the road, because if you go to war with one of those kingdoms, they will, they'll stop you from earning that money. I forget the actual term they use. But let's see if this village needs any help. And you can actually accelerate the time. Your movement speed by holding R2 moves everything faster. So I do not want more recruits right now. Let's see how many. I can afford 9 dinars a week. However, to get in the vanilla game, you have to go into the village and talk to their village elder to actually see if they need any help. Which means you have to find him. I don't remember where he is. Oh wait, yes, he's over here. You can just sort of go up next to him and wiggle your way up there. Not exactly their proudest moment, finding the village elder. Do you have any tasks I can help you with? Suffering greatly at the hands of a group of bandits, eh? Taking their food, their livestock, and killing anyone who resists. Alright, they want me to teach them. I will. Now this is a bit of a waiting game for a little while. Because and at first, if you go to take one of these missions, it can seem a little confounding. Like, how do you... Like, it doesn't really tell you how to do it. It just sort of puts it there. I didn't notice it at first when I started playing this, but it's fairly obvious as it turns out. You just hit train the peasants, and then it'll tell you how long it should take, which in this case, because I only have level 1 training, it's going to take 11 hours in-game, of course. Which is an accelerated pace. It'll go by fairly quickly, but we may have several training sessions so before the bandits show up. And then it'll just culminate into a battle between you, the peasants, and the bandits. And as you go along, you get to beat the tar out of a bunch of peasants. And that's fun. And you have to beat them up too. It's not like, I'm not kidding. You have to beat them because the training goes poorly if they beat you. I mean, after all, you're not helping them much if they're better at fighting than you are. Although I don't know how knocking them unconscious teaches them a lesson. Just give him a little jab, a little poke. Oh, ooh, he's fighting back. Sidestep that attack. Smack him in the face. Down he goes. And you can get a staff like that and use it in regular combat if you like. But I would recommend getting some heavy armor if you're going to do that. And another useful trick down the road when you're trying to get recruits is to do one of these things where you're training the peasants, and after every fight you can recruit more people or get a chance at recruiting more. Which also important to that is, you see up there at the top where it says the populace is indifferent to you and it has the number 3. I've been helping them, so they're starting to like me, but they don't yet. You got to get to certain thresholds. But the higher that number is, the more recruits and the higher quality recruits you can get. Since they've only just met me, I might get a couple volunteers, but that's about it. Whereas down the road, if that's maxed out at 99, you might come into one of these villages and come away with like 30 Swadian knights at a steal. Like, you'll get a pretty damn good bargain if you do it that way. That's why it's good to take care of your villages. You can just go whole ham on them, just smack, just beat the tar out of them all you like. Well, I mean, you might like to hit them more than that, but frankly, I feel it excessive at this point. And I didn't really bother introducing myself. I feel a little better just diving right in. After all, if no one's there, I feel silly in introducing myself. Early days. Alright, let's train them peasants. Teach them how to fight by beating them with a stick. Can't accelerate this, just gotta wait. You can interrupt it though and come back to it. Alright. Hopefully this will be the last round of training. I'm gonna avoid this a little because it can be fairly tedious. You went down pretty easy. It's a dang good. It's a really good thing for them that when the bandits come, me and my motley crew are gonna be here to help them. Because, oh, that might be. Oh, there goes a Swadian lord checking on his village, I presume. And you can't. And during this training, I don't think you can be attacked. It's often a good choice to swing just before they do. That way, it's a little tricky to explain, but you want to hit them as they're about to try and hit you. That way, they can't guard. Reloading the crossbow. Alright, I better get in there. Try to support them. Especially your own men, because these peasants, technically they'll come back. I think I lost a man just there. Come on, ah, he's dead, isn't he? Oh no, he's unconscious. Because your troops will either, like if they get downed, they'll either die or go unconscious, and there are things you can do to increase their chances of survival, aside from just training them. Oh yay, level up. Yeah, he's dead. Not coming back from that. Let's see a little after action report here. Oh, I lost 4 men. My allies lost 16, 5 were wounded out of 21. Oh. 9 wounded bandits. They fared better than we did in the long run. Well, they're offering me a reward, but after a shellacking like that, I'm going to refuse. They need it more than I do. But oof, I can replenish my numbers at least. Alright. I should be able to, and since now they're acceptive of me, I ought to be able to come back here if I need more recruits and be better off. But my surviving soldiers can be trained now. Ooh, that turned out nicely. Because they actually get the experience after you leave sometimes. So, look at that. I didn't even have some of those guys during the battle, and they got leveled up already. And you'll notice, like, the recruits, it just shows you an example. They have very, very basic equipment. Militia, somewhat less so. A little bit better shields. He's actually got a gambeson, which, if you didn't already know, is a type of fabric armor, really, to put it basically. Character screen, leveled myself up. Now, prisoner management. That's something I need. Each point of that lets you hold 5 prisoners. I'm just going to keep it at 1 for now, because there are other things I need right now. Ideally, a little bit of training, I think. Let's think it over, though. Because spotting and pathfinding are pretty good, too. Because without, spotting skill lets you see what's coming around you more quickly. It just increases the radius at which you can detect somebody else on the map. I don't really need to worry about inventory management right now. I think, however, surgery will perhaps be what I do, because that increases the chances of your soldiers not dying. Intelligence to get another skill point. I'm going to go with strength to get a little more health and a little more damage. Tactics is useful a little later on. I find it a little less important right now. But for every 2 points of that, every 2 levels, you get increased battle advantage. which is important because you can only have so many. The game can only have so many soldiers on a battlefield at once. So if you have a battle between two huge armies, like two 1,000 man strong forces, they have the game has to divide how many. Let's say you have 500 men and they have 800. They'll get a larger presence on the field, just to show scale and make sure that the bigger side has an edge. But tactics lets you balance that out a bit. Alright, I am going to take another point of trainer, actually. Get these men a little stronger so that they can stay alive. And I'm going with archery even though I don't have a bow yet, because I want to get a bow instead of this crossbow when I have the money to spend on it. Gonna make camp and wait here for a moment. Get to daylight. You move faster during the day. You can just march all night, and it doesn't actually affect your troops' morale, I don't think, but I like to take the break. Move during the day. You can get attacked by bandits while camping, though, so that was risky, perhaps. You know what? Let's go over to Suno and see what they've got going on. Might be a tournament, which you can bet on yourself, and it's a good way to get a good chunk of money early on. Although, of course, if you were playing this on PC, you could actually just mod your character's file, max out his stats. You could make him into a god in the game, basically, because if you take the stats beyond their thresholds, like agility, you'll just move incredibly fast. Too fast, actually, if you overdo it. You can even just give yourself gold. I cannot do that on here, so this is going to be what I would call fair gameplay. Although not necessarily as mystical. I wonder if they have any cheap metal armor. Nothing I can really get into. Tavern, see if there's... Oh, she's actually a companion. She's a merchant's daughter, but how much does she want? Oh good, she's one of the ones who doesn't cost you any money, but she does need outfitting and training, so that's gonna be a problem. And you might have noticed I didn't get any loot from those bandits. You just don't. I think I'm just gonna give her my crossbow for now, because I do not have the money to buy her a full loadout. We'll have to loot some armor off of and weapons off bandits, but she can't die, so it's very helpful to have companions, especially when you're trying to make your own kingdom, because they can spread the word about your right to rule, which gives you the actual ability to found a proper kingdom. Because if you just seize a castle, everyone's going to come down on you like the hammer of Thor. And it's not easy to get that initial foothold. Alright, that'll have to do for her. And I like to keep my companions at the top of the list, because the game seems to deploy your troops from the top down. So you want to keep... I tend to keep my better troops at the top, because I want the lesser ones to survive longer. Although in this early phase I don't have enough troops for that to really matter. Probably going to end up deploying all of them in each fight, unless we're grossly outnumbered. I think this is enough troops for now, though I don't want to pick anyone else up. Oh, she actually is useful, though. Even though she's not a fighter, she is just a merchant's daughter running away because her father was trying to marry her off to one of his merchant friends. She's useful because she's actually good at trading, so she helps you get better costs, better prices, both for the goods you sell and what you want to buy. She can already ride a horse, which is helpful. Inventory management. I'm pretty sure that's just a party, just like a group, a leader skill, so that might not help you directly. Wound treatment and surgery, though, so she'll help keep your soldiers alive. Now, this little forest over here, normally where the forest bandits spawn. So I'm gonna go over there and kick up a fight. Assuming they're around right now. The thing is the AI lords they don't ever seem to rout the, oh yep, here comes some forest bandits. They actually don't seem to be interested, but I'm gonna press the matter. What is it? Yeah, you're gonna die. 15 to 16, they have bows, most of us don't. One of us is a merchant's daughter wearing a dress. Definitely want to keep your shield up when you're riding toward archers. But I tend to just ride through, take swipes at those you happen to pass. It distracts them, keeps fire off your troops. See, they're all shooting at me when my men are closing the gap. And my men have shields, they don't. My horse, however, is getting hurt kind of bad. That's what I was talking about with an armored horse. Horse goes down when you're in the middle of a group of enemies. It's bad days. I need a better shield. That's the other thing. When your shield breaks in a fight, you just get it back. It doesn't degrade usually. I don't think it will actually degrade, but well, mine can't. It can't get worse than it is. But oh, someone. There we go. Cleaned them up. I think I only lost one man. Yep, one killed, 2 wounded. They'll recover, though. Ah. Better leather jerkin. A little bit better protection for me. And when you hit take all, it takes from the top down because the most valuable is at the top, least at the bottom. I need to get some power draw next level up so I can use a bow. Other than a hunting bow. But now I can give a little bit of armor to Ymira. And I believe there's a way to rename them on, and you can rename them on PC, but not on console, I'm afraid. At least I haven't figured out how as yet. You see your equipment, or lack thereof. Didn't see those in the list. I'll be taking those because I'm literally the most important. Have some boots. Because if I go down, we have to take another assault. Leather hood, it's a little something. And she's probably going to be better off with this hatchet over that knife. Wish I had a shield for her. This will have to do, though. Well, when I get a new one, she can have my old one. Oh, another thing is, when you go into a fight where you have these, like what you have in the top, this is what you'll start holding in a fight. So if you want to start out holding your bow and arrows, you'd put them up here. Well, your arrows can go anywhere, but you'd want the bow at the top if you did that. Just the dress. Provides 6 body armor. I mean, because technically clothing can offer some resistance to like cutting and thrusting, although not so much thrusting. Let's see here. And don't take, and I know where people are going to take that, but that is not how I intended it. She's going to need more strength so she can wear heavier armor. Probably going to train her to use crossbows. Alright. I'm going to turn most of these guys into footmen because that's the path that leads towards Swadian Knights. Alright, party's looking a little stronger now. No one's basic militia, no one's basic infantry, but our costs are going up. I'm going to have to stop training for a little while until I actually have some income. But you can always go do, you can go do missions for lords, you can help villages, you can hunt bandits and sell the loot. And if you're at war, there are a number of extra things you can do to earn money. Looks like they want to fight. Happened to hit X just, I was trying to click on them, but X also progresses the chat. I wish I could borrow one of their shields, they're nicer than mine. I like this little valley here. It doesn't slow down my horse as much as those steeper hills. You might notice I'm still hurt from the previous fight. Your health regenerates over time in the main menu, and you can get first aid, which decides how much health you automatically recover from one wave of a fight to the next, like after a battle. Cliff, now I just got a tip cut on him. Clipped him. Right in the face. You get right in their faces and circle them. There we go, man, you're getting into them, they're going down now. They picked a fight they should not have. It's coming back to me. Try and stab him. Right in the back of the head. If you aim for the head, they tend to go down a little more easily. Alright. Can't really carry much more of this loot, but I'm carrying some ragged shirts, which nobody wants. Alright, you also get money off of each fight, so that set me up there with an extra 176. That'll cover my troop costs by itself. I'm also gonna make some. I can only do one there. Skirmishers are basically the Swadian infantry's ranged path, so they don't lead to cavalry. But you do, I find, want at the least you want some archers, because there are a few situations where you just need that sort of support fire. Ooh, I can make a Swadian man-at-arms. There we go. Starting to get a little costly here. Ooh, that's a problem. 102 dinars a week. Cannot sustain this for long. Gonna have to continue fighting. Wanna level up. You level up really fast at the beginning, so. Got to stop training now. I just can't afford. Well, once I have the rest of those militia to skirmishers, I think I'll stop there on the training front until I've got a little more money up front. Let's see. I'm gonna get more surgery skill because I don't want them to die. But wound treatment is important because that'll help me actually recover from my wounds while we travel. For now, I don't have a bow. Still prepare for it. I'm an appalling archer. Alright, I think we'll try and get back to Suno and sell our loot, though. Can't carry anything else. Let's accelerate that. No need to slowpoke it around. Just gonna sell them the weapons. Which shields count? See if I can't pick myself up a better shield once I'm done selling everything. Oh, wait a minute. That last thing there might have been worth keeping. At least for the time being. And I haven't... Oh, no, it was tattered. Okay. Thought it said tough. But see, I haven't actually sold it until I hit circle. Now I get my money, he takes the items. And you can buy them back at much more than you sold them for. Now, when it comes to picking a shield, there are a few things to keep in mind. Well, weight is among them, because the more weight you're carrying, the more, the slower the harder it will be to move as normal. The size of your shield, you have different dimensions. My favorite type of shields, they don't actually have it here. It's a Nordic Huskarl shield. It's just a massive round shield that it just gives you so much protection. It soaks up arrows even when you're not blocking. But for now, I'm just going to go with this plain heater shield, I think. I like the style. And it's not cracked or anything. It's just standard quality shield. That said, I'm not going to sell my old one. I gotta kind of use what I have. I'm going to give that to Ymira. And we are selling her dress. Executive decision. She didn't have a horse. Let's see, the Sumpter horse has more armor, which must be the saddle. It's slower, less maneuverable, and it does less charge damage. We're gonna pick up. Wait, how much do they cost? Oh yeah, we're gonna get the Sumpter horse. At the moment, it's quantity, not quality. I have to count on. And in a sense, I can't really afford either. Oh, right, we look like bandits now. to step up the ladder, I guess. I always end up getting all my companions and setting them up in their own unit as sort of my guard, personal guard that is. Which is nice because if you ever get hurt in the middle of a battle, you can order that unit to follow you without distracting your entire body of troops. Alright, so she won't die immediately when met with arrow fire. And you can get two-handed weapons like swords and hammers and things like that. I just tend to stick to the sword and shield because I don't like arrows in my face. I think that's a commonly held opinion. At least the arrows in face. I know people like two-handed swords. Oh, I didn't notice this. I guess I should have expected it, though. Factions. Dermog. I think that's a Rodok castle. This lists their ruler and all their territories as well as their vassals, and their relations with their neighbors. They're currently at war with the Sultanate. Okay, so it's just begun recently, so the fighting's going to go on for a while, and it has yet to be determined who the winner is likely to be. It's hard to say. It always plays out differently for me. Some days, sometimes I'll go in here and Swadia will just conquer everything until I start conquering and push them back. Sometimes a different kingdom will prove themselves to be the more powerful, I find. In the last playthrough I did, I actually started by capturing this little castle right here from the Kingdom of Nords, thinking, well, they never give me too much trouble. That time, I found 1,000 men at my front gate very shortly, and very, very narrowly repelled them. But that's a story for a different time. We have a new story to make here. Oh, there's a Huskarl's round shield. Just gonna show you what it looks like on my character down there. I mean, I can't really turn him. Neither can I afford that, though. That's too expensive. Good shield, though. And this big gold mace here, this is a two-handed one. You can get a one-handed one of those. I like them. They're not the best, but they look cool. Ooh, there is a tournament. I'm gonna get in on that. Place a bet on myself. Just 100 in the first year. If it doesn't go well, I don't want to put too much money down. Oh, good. It's not the one where I have to use a lance. You can get a lance and fight with that. I'm not a fan of it. It's not efficient. It's effective. It's about the most powerful weapon you can use, but because if you properly couch the lance and strike your enemy, you can do 300 damage at once, which can shatter most shields in any shield basically in a single strike. That went really well, so I'm gonna put down more money. The odds reduce as you go, of course, but so you can't make. Oh, it's giving me a two-handed sword, which means I can't swing it very well because I'm not good with them. I knocked someone out. I think I might take their sword. Got him though. Only he's got the same weapon I have. And yeah, we're all colored. We're split off into teams for now. And yeah, the tournaments get kind of goofy because it usually ends up with a bunch of horses stuck up against the wall. But it's a great way to stay in shape. This is one thing they definitely need to improve for the next game, the AI and how they behave in these tournaments. Although they have actually made others since this. Yeah, he got him. There's two of us left standing then? I was going to keep throwing down money. Ah, PlayStation Network undergoing maintenance, okay. That doesn't interfere with me. Ah. I'm gonna see if I can't pull something off. Oh, he's not even gonna get out of there, is he? Like in an actual battle, if this happens, generally the AI will actually dismount so they can move around on foot. victorious again. In Tier 4 of the tournament, 8 participants remaining. This next fight will be 4 teams, 2 fighters each. Just gonna keep throwing down that money until I have none left. So I'm going all in on this one. Be disastrous for my company, most likely, if I fail. And at this phase, if I'm knocked out, I'm knocked out. If you go down early on, you're not necessarily eliminated. Although this time I'm feeling good. They gave me a sword and shield. And about the only armor you get to wear that you own is your boots. So that's one way you can get a little bit more armor in here, but it only protects your feet, basically. But you know, I'm just sort of going easy mode so far. I don't really have difficulty adjusted per se, so much as I'm starting in the easiest place with a lot of easier beginnings. Because if you really want this to be hard to get going, play as a peasant, as a female peasant. That way, the nobles they don't take kindly to women in power. But you can show them, become a queen in your own right and conquer them all. That'd serve them right. I've never done that, but I've never even actually played as a female character in this game. But I have gotten a trophy that you have to play as one to get it, so I'm not really sure how I managed that. I can still afford to put a little more money on me. I'm going for it. We're nearly at the end of this. Tournaments end up with different weapons based on what culture is holding the tournament and what city. This one just has a big melee, and I like that because it's not as slow as fighting with the lance in such a constrained space. Lances probably work a lot better in an open field, but with these slow horses and... Alright, we won. Get the 200 dinar prize, as well as the 3,686 dinars that I earned from my betting, which means I can actually afford things now. Some of them anyway. I was hoping they would have an arming sword, but it looks like they do not. I don't really need a dagger. I could actually buy that shield now. I'm going to do that while I have the money. I'll give that my old one to Ymira. Nah, chipped saber I'll pass. I wonder if they have a hunting bow. Oh, I forgot to... sheesh. Forgot to give myself a power draw. And there's another thing. The weight of the shield they have a speed rating. This one's 103, so you can raise it really fast. This one's bigger, so it's only 81, but I don't usually find that to be a problem. Also, another thing about bows is it has a speed rating, so that's how rapidly you can fire. That's not... The war bow, I think, is the best pretty much because it has the least drop. It propels the arrow the furthest. So it's easier to hit your targets, but it's slower firing. Whereas compared to this Nomad bow, it has 94. You can get more arrows out more rapidly, and it is accurate, but it doesn't have as good a range. So, it's sort of up to preference and what you need. I prefer to use a bow mostly when I'm sieging a castle, so I want longer range accuracy, so I can pick soldiers off the battlements while I'm advancing. Hell, if you want, you can get throwing darts. I've never seen much use in that, though, myself. Tactically speaking. Armor. Ooh, now might be a good time to buy something. Ooh, that's still too expensive. What about something? Oh, yeah, I could just get this battered chainmail. Hoping it'll be regular. I might be able to loot something better than that off some bandits in the Kingdom of Nords. Bassinet. Proper headgear. Then again, I might be underestimating how long my money will last. Yeah, I think I'll rely on looting for better armor for now. These don't cost too much. They're rusty, though. Nah, we're good. Maybe a finer horse? Mine is, after all, a swayed back horse. He's pretty slow. Yeah, he's not that bad. He's stubborn, a stubborn horse, which means you just have a neat. He's not a very high quality horse, and he requires a higher riding speed to ride. Heavy sumpter horse, better armor, slower. I don't need one of those. Goods. How are we holding up on food? Very well, actually. And food, having a variety of food is as important as having a good supply, because that helps boost your troop morale. So if you've just lost a series of battles, your men are tired and beaten up, you can go buy some nice food and cheer them up a little bit. That way you can stave off desertion. That's a stopgap measure, though. You need to find a way to either... You would either want to put those disheartened troops into a garrison, or go win a few battles really quickly before they desert you. I'm seriously interested in getting that helmet. Doesn't really protect my face that much, though. It's heavier, too. It's just a standard bassinet. Yeah, I'll take it. I won't need a new helmet for a long time. Oh, I should check the tavern, see if there's another companion in there. I've already left town. Nope. Sometimes they spawn upstairs. Let's check that. But now I have this enormous shield on my back. Something else you might do is, if you don't want to bother, if you don't have the money for much armor, but you can get a couple of these, put one on your, or if you want to do a two-handed weapon, just put one of these big shields on your back. Get a turtle shell. You can at least face your back toward your enemy and block with it that way. Protect you from arrows. See, a traveler, he doesn't have much I need to talk about. You can come in here and buy wine for everyone who comes in, and that just helps you improve your relationship with the town. Not something I can afford to do much right now, because it costs 1,000 dinars each time you want to do that. Guildmaster is another way you can improve relations with the town. Cheaper one too, because you actually, well, I mean, it's a way to make money. You go in here and ask for a job. He wants me to herd some cattle. Possibly the least enjoyable thing to do in this game. How far do you want me to take them? Akhmared. I think I said that right. Sooner's better. Give me 30 days to do it. That's quite a lot of time. 545 dinars. I'll take the journey. See if these cattle give me any trouble. Because we're not exactly a large force. If we get hit by something big, it's going to be a problem. Ooh, 91 head of cattle. That's not going to tempt bandits at all. But we need to go all the way out here. It's going to be quite a drive. Could barely fit it on screen. I'm zoomed out as much as possible. Alright. And driving cattle is, it's a pain in the ass, because they just go away from you and everything else. So you just kind of have to follow them, let them move a little bit. You don't want to let them get too far, though, because they could get sacked by bandits. Oh no, not in the woods. That slows them down. Oh, no, not that way, stupid cows. Oh boy. Oh boy, where'd they go? I may have just lost those cows. Oh shit. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe they went this way. Yeah, that's some bandits. Running from him. Okay. Okay, I have a problem now. Town, they're not gonna be happy that I lost all those cattle. Hopefully I can still find them. But I gotta deal with these bandits first. You can always go into first person whilst mounted as well. Actually, if you're getting really into it, this game can be fairly immersive. If you're willing to ignore a few things, I suppose. Oh boy. Getting bogged down and stabbed. I don't like that. There's my Swatian man-at-arms. He's better equipped than I am by far. Ow. Advantage of a longer weapon. See, these are Swatian militia. These must be deserters. I didn't really notice that when they attacked. I'm trying to keep as many of them busy as I can so my lesser forces can overwhelm them. You know, I'm just harassing them. I'm not trying to really face them because I don't want to get cut up too badly. We have a long journey ahead. Assuming I can find the herd of cattle. Should have stopped them before nighttime came. And as the fight goes on, you might notice they'll start to run away. Occasionally, if things look like they might still have a chance, they will stop routing and they'll actually come back to fight. Ooh. Chipped sword. Does that beat my rusty one? Yes. Not by much, but it's better. Should not have bothered buying a helmet. That's okay. Take everything out. Is that a lance? It's a spear. Can't. I don't think you can use it. Hello. What's up? Yeah. I'm actually streaming a game right now.
Alright, you want me to get out of here?
No, it's cool. I got no one watching right now. Could use someone to talk to.
See if you can invite Gator in here.
Probably can. I've been going at this for about an hour now. Maybe I'll give it a break. Throw him an invite real quick here. Oh, you know, actually, I did see a message not too long ago saying that PSN's going through maintenance. Yeah. Because now that you mention it, my invite list isn't loading up either. Yeah, it's due to the network maintenance. I can't get through to him. If you can see, I mean, you were able to join, right?
Yeah, I just joined on you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Gator, can you hear me?
He wouldn't be able. You'd have to switch. You can go to party settings and prioritize game chat. He might be able to hear you then.
Alright, so I'm in your party.
Just took care of some bandits on here. And funny thing is, I'm playing a sort of old game called Mountain Blade Warband, and I just agreed to herd some cattle, and I have lost them very quickly. I have no idea where they went. Yeah, they ran off in the night. Cannot find them. No tracks, nothing. They're gone. 91 head of cattle missing. They're not gonna be pleased. I'm still looking for them.
But I can't access any of my friends list. That's the weird thing. I could see your party, but I can't access anybody.
Maybe those cows went up in the hills here. Oh, nope. Yeah, I think they've been killed. I just failed the quest.
Mountain Blade Warband.
Yep.
Cool.
It's a fun game. It's a sort of oh man, now I have to go back and tell the guildmaster how wildly incompetent I am.
Alright, I'm gonna jump back out of here and try to grab Gator again.
All right, I might jump on the division
Oh,
here in a
wait,
bit.
there he is.
Alright,
Oh,
There he
excellent.
is.
can you
He
hear
just
me?
jumped in.
Hey there, Gator.
I can hear you now.
Hey, yeah, I don't know what in the hell is going. Excuse my language, guys. Dark Faith. I don't know what's
That's
going
uh,
on.
that's all right. I've kind of been doing that myself, even though I'm live streaming a game right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just crashed his party.
Yeah, it's all
Oh,
right.
okay.
I kind of got nothing going on right now anyway. Just playing a sort of chill
Dude,
game.
the Vision would not let me in this sucker for it seemed
Yeah,
like hours on end.
like PSN is updating. It's doing maintenance right now.
But it's
Oh, that might
PlayStation
be.
Network. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, I
Y'all
better keep
son of
that.
a buttheads, get it right. I
Yeah, I
better
think
hush
that's what
that
they're
we
working
blowed
on
up my
right now.
PlayStation.
Don't need those.
That's funny.
All
Well,
you hear is,
I didn't mean to crash your party, chat.
No,
So if you want us out, we can get back
no,
out.
it's cool.
Okay. I was just trying to get something to work.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird, man. All of a sudden, go chat, and then like I was trying to get up with Viper, man, and we was trying to get in here, and it would not. It kept saying the servers were full. It would not let me in.
There we
So I
go.
guess that had something to do with PlayStation and not
Oh yeah.
not Division actually, even though we were trying to get in Division. That's weird.
Cause I'd have to flip it somehow. Guys say, this game sucks, but why are you still playing it?
Wait, what? Which game?
Oh, Division.
Division.
Oh yeah.
Cause it wouldn't let me in.
Because we couldn't get in it.
Yeah.
On my end, it kept saying the servers were full.
Yeah, I've been basically started a new playthrough on this game. Because what I like to do, and one thing that I love about this game is you can start out poor and build up your own, you just conquer the whole, you expand your own kingdom across the map.
Which one is it?
Mountain Blade Warband.
I wonder if that's what I'm playing. I don't know. I'd have to look at. I think it's called Blaze or something. I'm not for sure. Is it on your phone?
No. It's something I'm playing on PS4 right now.
I got so many games, man, that I got to play. It's unreal. Thank goodness I got that hard drive though.
Well, it's time for me to. It's a good thing I won so much money from that last tournament, because the guildmaster is not pleased, and he's giving me a chance to be responsible and pay him 1,000 dinars, which is frankly a steal. I lost 91 cattle. Um,
Wow. I guess to the library, Viper.
Yeah, I was gonna see if
But I'm
this
gonna go ahead
Division
and
tech was up here.
save here.
Yeah, come join us in the Dark Zone, man.
Yeah. Probably gonna cut the live stream for now. That's your, this is your show for the time being.
Well, no, I ain't even doing
Well,
it,
that and
man.
I've been
Hey,
streaming for the past hour, well, 2 hours actually now. Almost
Manly Gator
exactly.
and Texas Viper has joined the baddest, the most baddest Dark Faith hunter. It kills all the rogues.
Well, I kill as many as I can anyway. And that's a
Now-
start. You can't kill them if you don't try.
What's gonna happen is
Good point.
the whole server's gonna wait till you walk in and then kill you because they all gonna be rogue, and then you be like, "Come on, my chat, one minute. Thanks a lot."